Ever since the pausing of the Ministry of Education's Samoan language resource, Tupu and Falaunga, there's been a rising protest about the state of Pacific languages.
And this morning that concern manifested itself as the bilingual Leo Pacific Coalition, presenting a petition to the government. The coalition, made up of educators, academics and those concerned about the success of Pasifika students, handed the petition to Nationals' Peseta Sam Lotuinga and Labour's Su'a William Seal.
It was important for the whole of Parliament to recognise and take up on their shoulders how important it is for us to promote bilingualism, to promote multilingualism, and to see that as a strength rather than be something to be feared or to be afraid of.
The petition protests about the apparent language resource cuts and changes to the Pasifika education plan.
In a moment, Marama Papau will speak to Coalition spokesperson Rachel Panara, but first, here's a wrap-up of some of the main issues.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. Hey, good morning everybody, welcome.
They're the official languages of New Zealand: English, Te Reo Māori and Sign Language. And now there's a push to add Samoan, Tongan, Cook Islands, Niuean and Tokelauan as official minority languages.
Special status in New Zealand, Cook Islanders.
The issue is being driven by the bilingual Leo Pacific Coalition.
Tokelauans, of course, are New Zealand citizens.
The group came together after the government decided last year to stop printing two long-running Pacific books, Tupu and Falaunga. The government says it's only pausing printing while they review the series, but it's had Pacific educators worried.
It's a huge hit for all of us. We're very disappointed with the decision to do away with these Pasifika resources.
Touching on Falaunga, and you know, I hear this word cuts, it's been paused.
Last week, a forum was held at Unitec in Auckland around issues facing Pacific languages. One of the main issues, the Ministry of Education dropping Pacific bilingualism from the Pasifika education plan. Key strategies and goals to help Pacific languages have been removed. National's only Pacific MP is defending the policy change and says Pacific language is still being resourced.
The resources are there, and there's numerous resources available in our Pacific languages. And they're available in not just text form, but DVD form, you know, in the different multimedia forms that are now available, particularly online and with the internet. And, you know, that's exciting. So, you know, there's plenty of resources out there for our Pacific people.
We want to pass it on to our children. And now it's time for the government to come to the table.
Now the language debate is getting hotter. The bilingual Leo Pacific Coalition are taking it one step further, lobbying for 5 Pacific languages to be made official minority languages.
Niue, Tokelau and Cook Island are critical in United Nations list of most endangered languages.
It's a step up from where we are now, but I think recognising it in that way is just the beginning of what we really want to get into, and that is to make sure the language is survived. If there's a law that guarantees survival, I'm all for it.
And to shed more light on this story and the events this morning, here's Marama Papau.
Thanks, Tom. Joining us now from Wellington is Tongan educator, lawyer and spokesperson for the bilingual Leo Pacific Coalition, Rachel Panara. Malo lele, Rachel.
Malo lele.
Pretty historic day, Rachel. What exactly is in the petition?
5,500 people spoke today. That's a 5,500 strong petition from our Pacific communities, representative of all the 7 different ethnicities, and it was historic. And these voices are saying to our government to restore the Pacific Education Plan and those bilingual education goals that will ensure the educational achievement of our young people. It's also a petition to say restore the Pacific language series for our early childhood educators and our young people.
Now, the pausing of those Tupu and Falaunga series is quite a small issue compared to the policy protest you describe.
Yes, we're very alarmed at the direction that the Pacific Education Plan has taken. Some really key bilingual education goals were taken out, and this is a serious redefinition of English literacy. And so it's like the government is now saying that literacy is only in English. And so what we're saying is that the bilingual education research shows that a bilingual education approach can enhance the learning of English literacy as well as the mother tongue. So it's a very serious cut to the Pacific Education Plan.
What the Ministry is saying, and we heard Sam just say in the item just before, Pacific languages are important, they are continuing to be resourced. So what is the problem then?
It's a subtle difference, and it's like trying to split the person. And what we're saying is put language back into our young people's curriculum. And from the very earliest, from the early childhood level is where it really needs to be. Bilingual education needs to be a choice that all of our Pacific parents and children have.
I noticed that you've got constitutional lawyer Mai Chen working with you on a bill to make 5 Pacific languages minority languages in New Zealand. What exactly does that mean?
Today, as well as the petition, marks the beginning of formal discussions with government, and it is historic in the sense that it's the first time that I've seen, and in my short lifetime here, the prayers of our parents, our grandparents and our ancestors answered in terms of why we came here to New Zealand for education and a big and a better life.
How is it a constitutional issue exactly? Why does it have to be made?
It's a constitutional issue because this is the first time that we have seen Pacific people stand on their status as New Zealand citizens, saying this is no longer a migrant story. 60% of us are born here in New Zealand, and our nations are part of the realm of New Zealand. So from a constitutional point of view, that means that as New Zealand citizens, we have rights and responsibilities, and as a significant minority, we have distinctive features that will distinguish us from other minorities here in New Zealand.
Rachel,
and that's our historic and our constitutional position.
Where to from now? What political support do you have for the bill? Just quickly there.
We're heartened by some early indicators that government are really interested to start this discourse with us. The understanding, obviously, our Cook Islands, our Tokelau and Niue, part of the realm of New Zealand. So the obligation's there to stop the decimation of those languages, and it is those 3 languages in particular that are being decimated, and also our previous colonial and immigration policies that have brought Tonga and Samoa here now as New Zealand citizens within New Zealand. We're heartened by those early discussions that government are interested in looking at recognising Pacific languages as official minority languages.
Well, thank you, Rachel, for joining us on the show, and back to you, Angela and Tom.
Thanks, Malama, and we'll keep you posted on developments on the story.